I now request Mr. Venkatesh Krishnan to please come on the stage for his presentation. Please welcome him with a round of applause.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolute privilege to be here amongst all of you, and I really want to thank and compliment Sunil and the entire YOTA team for a landmark partnership. This is the first of its partnership that we have had, not just in India, but I would say across the globe, in terms of extending the AI cognitive capabilities that we have that gets powered through the Azure data center to a sovereign cloud infrastructure that has been built completely and operated along with the entire management by an Indian company, YOTA. So we're absolutely proud of this partnership, really looking forward to really bringing the best of both the worlds for our customers in India, especially in regulated industries like public sector, etc. So with that, I'm just going to move in with some numbers, since Sunil ended with numbers. We've been honored and privileged to work with some of the largest public sector organizations in the country. And what excites us is the real opportunity to make an impact at a global scale. We've been fortunate to work with some of the large DPIs, as it is called, that these are fundamentally digital platforms that are set up by the government. The numbers that you see on the left-hand side are in millions. That is the impact of these platforms. And I would dare to say that these are amongst the largest in the world in terms of citizen impact that gets delivered through digital interface for the convenience of people. So eShram is a digital platform where we've absolutely honored to work with the Ministry of Labor to really bring about a digital interface for unskilled and unorganized workers in the country. This had huge impact during the COVID times and played a very important role in making sure that people who were outside of their zone, there was access to them, the database was there, and it's now moving into social welfare. It is moving into making sure that as these people migrate to different parts in search of a better job opportunity, how do you make sure that their kids, their wife, and their dependents get the right social care, whether in terms of medical or in terms of education. The other one that I do want to talk about is eSanjeevani. We are absolutely privileged to work with the Ministry of Health here and CDAC, which has been one of the largest partners. They provide telemedicine, and if you really look at the numbers, it is staggering. It started as a small initiative just to bridge the gap that existed between quality healthcare in cities versus rural India and in places where primary healthcare was lacking. It is now scaled to a much larger platform in terms of live consultations that are happening, and a lot of AI is now being embedded into it to really make both the experience for the patients as well as the doctors on the other side, to increase the number of dialogues and to focus more on the care rather than all the logistics that go with a typical healthcare type of a thing. The last one is LocOS, which is something that has been used by folks in the rural folk of India. Again, a very important initiative that has had a huge impact. But as we look at the numbers keep growing. We've had many other things. Most of you fly by airlines today. I'm yet to come across a single flight where even the middle seats are empty now. Just shows that it's now become more than just an aspiration for every average Indian. And we are absolutely excited to partner with Ministry of Civil Aviation to making Digi Yatra come to life. And if you're not using it, I'll urge you to download that application and start using it. It's one of the best applications, and it works only in India. I haven't seen this working in any other part of the world. Very proud moment for all of us. Professor Sitaram was here in the morning. We are working with AICTE to really look at how can we bridge the divide that exists between kids who understand English to kids who do not have an ability to learn English. If you really look at our primary education is available in all languages. But as you move up to the technical education, most of the curriculum is only available in English. So we're working with AICTE to completely not just convert all the textbooks into vernacular things. So we've got the engineering books, we've got the medical books that are all being now converted. But more importantly, how do you now make sure that it stays relevant to what's happening in the latest? So it is very humbling to hear Professor Sitaraman talking about how AI can play such an important role in making sure that it reaches every aspect of human life across the length and breadth of the country. I'm now going to move on to AI transformation, just to build on, Sunil, he already laid out, the opportunity that exists for us globally and for us in India. But I do want to talk about where the impact is really. We've had the good fortune of leading this wave. We are amongst the leaders in AI. But when we look at our last 3 years, when customers have really started adopting AI, it fundamentally boils down to 4 things in terms of the impact AI can do for them. Number one, what is it that you can use AI to enrich your employee experience? How can you make an employee who works in your department, in your organization, more productive through an effective use of AI? And if you really look back in times, go back to history, every time an industrial revolution has happened, it has fundamentally resulted in increasing productivity of people. AI has the biggest potential when it comes to each and every one of us. The good news about AI in India is amongst the fastest and the largest adopters of AI. Clearly, by a margin, we are way ahead of the world, right? But more importantly, the issue is how can organizations leverage that interest and the ability for Indians to quickly adopt digital technology to make sure that they are using it in their day-to-day life to significantly ramp up productivity. Because if you can create more free time for people, not only are you going to add on to their quality of life, but more importantly, there are so many other problems that are waiting to get solved if you can have the productive time. So that's an area where we see huge impact. The second one is about fundamentally reinventing customer engagement. And customer engagement could start with something like I just spoke about, citizen services is customer engagement, right? If you can improve engagement between an external stakeholder and your organization by the use of AI in a very, very smart way with a lower cost, you are adding to the quotient of a higher NPS score. So that, I think, is a big, big opportunity. We see a lot of organizations fundamentally focusing on it, especially in the services side of the business. Reshaping business process, I think this is by far the biggest opportunity. If you look at all the processes that we've had, that we have built over centuries, it's a great opportunity not to just bring AI into it. That's one way of doing it. A better way that we see some of the organizations whom we call as the frontier firms doing it is to really start looking at the business process and start asking the question, why? Why do we have this process? Does this process require a fine-tuning? And is there a way in which we can introduce AI to bring about a step improvement in it? And that's where the whole world is moving towards from an AI adoption perspective, which is agentic AI. My colleague will talk about it later in terms of some of the best use cases that we are seeing in India. The last one, I think, is the larger opportunity for India, which is to fundamentally bend the curve on innovation. And here is where I think history will get created, because we finally have an opportunity to really be at par when a new revolution is happening. So when AI got launched globally, commercially, ChatGPT, gets a lot of credit for doing it, and our partnership with OpenAI ensured that happened. We had that getting launched in the US, and within a few days, a farmer in a remote village in India was actually using it. So the divide between a technology being available to somebody able to use it without really understanding English or computer, that divide is gone. So hence, I think it's a great opportunity for us in India to fundamentally bend the curve on innovation and take a leading posture on becoming the country that not only builds products and services in AI, but exports it globally, and we become a leader in this part of the revolution. That is where we see the biggest opportunity for India. As we move on to the way in which Microsoft is looking at AI, there are 3 aspects to it. We call this whole journey as an AI-first journey. But the important thing is, from a differentiation perspective, it is a combination of what we call as agentic AI, which is to look at every business process and look at what is it that we can do either to automate a process, which is a mundane process, does not require a human touch, or to augment a process to improve the productivity or decision-making capability. That's what agentic can do for us brilliantly. Copilot is our answer to fundamentally helping every employee get the power of intelligence on their fingertips. If you have intelligence available to you all the time, you are in a better position to deliver a far more productive work as far as a far bigger impact in the work that you're doing. So it's about the availability of intelligence in the context in which you want the intelligence. That is what Copilot is all about. And the third one, the whole thing cannot come together without the human in the loop. And it is that human ambition. And it goes back to my earlier point. It is that ambition for India to be ahead of everybody. It is that ambition for every Indian who aspires to have a far better quality of life than what they are currently in. It's that ambition to uplift people who are in the rural part to make sure that they enjoy the benefit of the revolution that's happening. That ambition is what will actually fuel the other two things when it comes to the differentiation. And I want to talk about it with respect to one thing that we are doing in India. We have Copilot, which is fundamentally an ability for you to have intelligence at your fingertips, available free to all our customers in India, including government customers. Every customer in India has an ability to use Copilot Chat absolutely free. Now that's a great statement. The next question is, so what? Where it is of importance for all of us in the context of an organization that we work for is that it has to make sense to us in the boundaries of the security that our organizations have for us. And that's where Copilot Chat is so different from ChatGPT. How many of you use ChatGPT in your personal lives? Just a show of hands. Right? Have you tried using ChatGPT in your work? The biggest challenge of doing something like that is here. The biggest challenge is we think it is free and we are all very comfortable using it, but the problem is that it lacks alignment with an organization's security policy because it is a free-to-use consumer product. The Copilot Chat from Microsoft follows the same principle of democratizing AI technology and giving it to every employee in the organization, but it is grounded. It is grounded as per the security policies of the organization across data leak protection, across the defender that comes as a part of it, and most importantly, the data stays in India. The data is not used for training at all. That's a fundamental difference. So organizations can use Copilot Chat and put all the policies that they currently have for the rest of their IT environment, and this will give the benefit of AI to every employee in the organization without worrying about all the security lapses that could happen by using a freeware. That's the biggest advantage that we bring in, and that's how we bring to action our whole philosophy of democratizing AI. The other one I do want to talk about is the ability to really look at how we can bring agentic into every aspect of the business process. And I want to share an example. It's a little difficult read. This appeared in yesterday's newspaper. It's a thing from the Washington Post. The country of Albania. It's a very small country, not very famous, but they've done something very unique. They've actually appointed an AI minister, right? And it is fundamentally an AI bot. This country was under severe cyber security attack a few years back. They approached Microsoft. We worked with them, and in a few days, we not only restored the data, but we significantly ramped up their security posture. And ever since that, they have not looked back. They fundamentally understood that digital is the way to be. And they are amongst the earliest adopters for AI and some of the best use cases when it comes to citizen services delivered through AI. What they're doing through this initiative that appeared in the newspaper this week is they have a cabinet role for AI, right? Because they're making it so integral to how the country is going to look at technology. And more importantly, they want to bring about transparency in the way in which the entire procurement process is going to work over there. They want to make sure that 95% of the procurement actually happens through this entire AI-enabled service. So those are some of the inspiration that one can take on by really looking at AI and looking at how you can look at the business process and embed AI into it through the agentic framework. Sunil spoke about the ability that we have across the entire stack of AI. We are not just a company that provides just one part of the AI solution. We start with Copilot, which is fundamentally our UI to AI. That's what we call it. So any user interface to AI, the starting point is Copilot. And I spoke about the fact that the Copilot Chat is available free. We have different variants in Copilot depending upon your use cases. But we start with the UI, and then we quickly move on to the tools that are required across the developer community as well as across the entire framing of the entire thing. So that's what you get from GitHub and the Visual Studio. The entire app tier, which is where the real magic is going to happen in terms of how the different applications come to life, that is powered by Azure AI Foundry. And there are two layers beneath it, which are the most critical layers, because AI is incomplete without data. And that's where the Microsoft Fabric, which is the world's largest and the most promising with respect to AI capability from a data platform perspective, comes in. And the whole thing is backed through the security and governance framework. This whole thing is what we are providing as a part of a deliverable to Yota in the Shakti Cloud offering of the hybrid AI. So one, we offer all these services directly to our customers, our commercial customers. For the sovereign aspect of it, we partnered with Yota. So you have all these models available in the Yota DC, where a lot more prospects is going to be on the edge part of it. How do you get more and more solutions available on the edge? That's an area on which Microsoft is working deeply upon. So if I were to really sum up, I know there is a time up, this thing that I'm getting. It is about the fact that we're getting the best of technology along with the local capabilities and the sovereignty that Yota is bringing to offer a secure solution for our customers in India. And I want to leave you with these use cases which could just give you an idea of the type of work that's happening in this space. Sunil already spoke about the language model, so I'll skip that. In terms of AI, from a health perspective, we're working very, very deeply with most of the healthcare companies in India, also with the Ministry of Health. The work that's happening in education is just phenomenal. I wish Dr. Sitaram was here. He would have appreciated it. But we are working with the Manipal University on research projects, which is actually helping researchers bring down the time it takes to do research from months to days. And that's a huge, huge thing. We may not see the benefit of it today, but it is going to help India moving forward with respect to making sure that we get an edge on AI from a research perspective. The area where it has, I think, any of the companies that are into manufacturing in some way or the other, just get it into your operational part of the business, you will be able to significantly bring down the incidents management. You will be able to significantly ramp up the security posture that you have in organization from a physical security perspective. And the last one, we spoke about it when Satya was here in India, in agriculture. And that is the photo of a farmer who came on stage and spoke about the fact that she didn't understand AI. She just uses AI, and it has actually resulted in 20% better crop yield for her because of the way in which it is able to go and solve problems for a farmer in a small marginal land as compared to just making something available over the internet. So with that, thank you very much, and looking forward to working with each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I request Mr. Jignesh Macharia to kindly felicitate sir with a token of gratitude. Please give him a big round of applause.